What is going on, everybody? So I'm back today to review another film from 2022 that I was trying to get caught up by seeing. This was one that a lot of people hailed as one of the best films of the year, with one of the best performances of the year. And whenever something like that gets talked about as much as it did, I have to jump on board and watch it immediately. And I did. And the film that I'm going to be discussing today is Tar, starring Cate Blanchett. Tar is directed by Todd Field. The film, set in the international world of classical music, centers on Lydia Tár, widely considered one of the greatest living composer-conductors and first ever female chief conductor of a major German orchestra. So I thought the premise to this film was really interesting, and reading reviews online, obviously this was a film that was centering heavily on cancel culture and the idea of these like really prestigious actors and people in society losing their position of power because of the acts that they commit and the way that they misuse their position of power. And I thought that was a really fascinating idea for a film. And I enjoyed this for the most part. I don't think it's one of the best films of the year by any means. I think that it's really incredible what was pulled off. But I do think there's enough problems with it to kind of like push it off that best of the year list and not really make my top films of the year. And I'll get into it a little bit more when I talk about the film. So obviously Tar stars Cate Blanchett, who gives a phenomenal performance. The film opens up with her doing this talk with, I believe, like New Yorker magazine or something, discussing like composers that are important to her, discussing elements of music. And it's a really incredibly filmed scene with very little cutting back and forth. It's not a lot of shot reverse shot. There's a lot of shots in this film that just hold on people delivering dialogue in a way that's really impressive. And shortly after, we see her talking at Juilliard giving this lecture, and there's this young kid who they start talking about Bach together, and he starts talking about being a queer person that is also a person of color, that he is not a fan of Bach because of the things that he did in his life and the way that he was perceived as a person. And she kind of like jabs at him and jokes about how like if you let political correctness run your whole life, that like you'll never be able to enjoy anything. And she's like really harsh on him about like, you know, him taking this stance because he feels like this person is very outside of people he wants to respect, and her being like, oh, that's silly, you should just learn to ignore that and get over it. And so that's really the first scene that kind of gets you a glimpse into her mind about the way that she actually feels. And the movie is just kind of her downward spiral. You find out how manipulative that she is towards other people, and that she uses her position of power to get what is implied like sex with people, and like promises them positions in the orchestra, and like all these things that the film hints at. It doesn't always like 100% come out and just say, hey, this is what is happening. A lot of times it's implied through the way that the camera moves and through different sequences. And the overarching problem that really causes her career to start to tank, it's not like expositionally given to you at any moment. It's like there's ideas thrown through quick emails that you're seeing, information that's hidden from her. And then we get scenes with her at her apartment where she's trying to compose new music, and she's constantly hearing noises, and things are distracting her to where she's not able to do that. And it just progressively gets worse and worse. She's married to this woman, they have a daughter together, or they're in a relationship. I don't think it's 100% ever stated, but they have this daughter together, and you can tell there's like this tenseness between their relationship. And so all that is done really well. My biggest issue with this film is it starts to get very repetitive, to where you understand what the film is trying to say, but there's so many sequences of it saying the same thing over and over again. There's not a whole lot of nuance. And for a film that's trying to be really smart, it's not as smart as it thinks it is. It really just is saying exactly what it wants to say, which is fine because this topic is very interesting to explore. This idea of people who kind of think they're on another level and can, you know, not deal with the repercussions of being a horrible human being and taking advantage of that. And you do see that through her actions throughout the entire film. You see her treat other people poorly and, you know, like use her position of power to get the things that she wants. to where by the third act she is just completely unhinged, doing whatever she wants in a way that's almost comedic at times. And Cate Blanchett's performance is just absolutely incredible. She's so dedicated to this material, and you can just see it. It's so much less of her playing a character and her more living a character, which is something I can always really get behind. But by the end of this movie, I was kind of left just wondering, what exactly did I get out of this? Because I already, like, when it comes to cancel culture and understanding people's bad actions, I already understand, like, bad people shouldn't really have a platform to continue being a bad person. So that, it's like really on the nose. But aside from that, I was thinking, what more did I get out of this movie other than that? And the answer is not that much, which is unfortunate because I feel like there was a lot of potential to kind of make more emotionally resonant moments through the film. I always think when you take someone who is a villain and make them the lead to your film, it's really interesting, and I thought that they handled that really well. And like I said, this is a technically brilliant film. The cinematography is outstanding. The sound design in this is phenomenal. It's everything that makes a quality film. But aside from those elements of the movie, there really isn't a whole lot drawing me in to be like, okay, I really want to revisit this in the near future or make it something that's going to stick with me in my mind for a really long period of time. And that's unfortunate because I really did want this to be one of my favorite films of the year. It just sadly wasn't. So have you seen Tar? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was really well made. I thought it had great performances, but outside of that, it really didn't do a whole lot for me. As always, if you like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.